Chosen one, hear this divine whisper from heaven's throne room. God is revealing what you're about to step into, and this is your time. That stirring in your soul, that quickening in your spirit, that unexplainable pull you feel right now. It's not random. It's not coincidence. It's the Almighty orchestrating this sacred moment to unveil the destiny He carved into your very being before the stars were hung in the sky. You didn't stumble upon this message. This message was sent to hunt you down, to awaken you to the spiritual awakening that's unfolding within you. For too long you've carried the weight of unanswered prayers, closed doors, and dreams that seem to slip through your fingers like sand. You've wondered if God forgot your name, if your struggles were punishment, if your purpose was just a fleeting hope. But today, right now, heaven is declaring that every tear, every trial, every moment of doubt was divine preparation for the breakthrough you're about to step into. This is not just another moment. This is your divine moment, your faith journey's turning point, where God's plan for your life becomes crystal clear. Picture a radiant scroll unfurling in the courts of eternity, your name written in golden ink, glowing with purpose. Can you feel it? That's not anxiety in your chest. That's the Holy Spirit igniting a fire within you, whispering that your time is now. You've been through storms that should have broken you. You've faced rejections that stung deeper than words can express. You've stood at the edge of giving up, staring into the abyss of doubt, wondering why your prayers seemed to echo into silence. But hear this truth. You weren't forgotten. You were forged. Every closed door wasn't God saying no. It was Him redirecting you to this exact moment. Every sleepless night, every whispered prayer, every time you chose to keep going despite the pain, it was all building you for a personal transformation so profound it will ripple through generations. The Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Those plans aren't distant dreams. They're unfolding right now, in this sacred hour, as heaven leans in, waiting for your response. You're not just watching this video. You're standing at the threshold of your divine purpose, and God is revealing what lies on the other side. This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest fears are the keys to your greatest breakthroughs. The enemy has tried to convince you that your fears, fear of failure, fear of not being enough, fear of stepping into the unknown, are chains holding you back. But God says those fears are the very soil where your destiny takes root. Think about Moses, trembling before the burning bush, convinced he wasn't eloquent enough to lead a nation. Yet God used his fear to reveal His power, saying in Exodus 4:12, "Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Or consider Esther, her heart pounding as she faced the risk of approaching the king uninvited. Her fear didn't disqualify her. It positioned her to save a nation. Your fears aren't your prison. They're your preparation. That trembling in your hands as you hear these words, that's not weakness. That's the divine electricity of a spiritual awakening, signaling that you're on the verge of stepping into something greater than you've ever imagined. Let's talk about why this moment feels so urgent. There's a divine timer ticking, not because God is impatient, but because His assignments are tied to precise seasons. Isaiah 55:6 warns, "Seek the Lord while He may be found. Call on Him while He is near." That while is critical. Seasons shift, windows close, opportunities aligned with eternity's timeline don't linger forever. Imagine standing before a majestic door, your name carved in radiant gold, pulsing with the promise of your destiny. This door isn't locked, but it's not permanent either. It's open now, but heaven's clock is counting down. You've felt it, haven't you? That sense that something massive is shifting, that the struggles of your past are converging into a single moment of divine clarity. That's not your imagination. That's God revealing what you're about to step into, a life of purpose, impact, and unshakable faith. Let me share a story that might feel like your own. There was a woman named Clara, a single mother from a small town in Ohio, who spent years working 2 jobs to provide for her kids. She prayed nightly for a breakthrough, but every door seemed to slam shut. Job applications rejected, relationships strained, dreams of starting a community center for struggling families fading. One evening, exhausted and on the verge of giving up, she felt a stirring in her spirit, a whisper that said, "Your time is coming." Instead of dismissing it, she acted. She wrote down her vision for the community center, reached out to a local pastor, and took a small step by renting a tiny space with her savings. Today, Clara's center serves over 200 families, funded by grants she never thought she'd qualify for. Her fear of failure was real, but her faith was stronger. That's what God is calling you to. A faith that moves beyond fear. A faith that acts, even when the path isn't fully clear. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us reach more chosen ones, awakening them to their divine purpose before their window closes. Whether you give or simply receive, know that your presence here is no accident. You're part of a remnant God is calling to rise in this hour. So why do some step into their destiny while others remain stuck? It's not about worthiness or perfection. It's about response. The Bible is filled with stories of ordinary people who acted on God's call despite their fears. Think of David, a shepherd boy facing Goliath with nothing but a slingshot and a heart full of faith. 1 Samuel 17:45 records his bold declaration, "I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." David didn't wait for courage to replace his fear. He acted in the presence of it. Or consider Rahab, a woman with a past who risked everything to hide the Israelite spies. Her fear of betrayal didn't stop her. It propelled her into a legacy that placed her in the lineage of Jesus. Your fears don't disqualify you. They qualify you for a testimony that will inspire others. Now let's get practical. God isn't just calling you to dream. He's calling you to act. Here are 3 specific steps you can take today to step into your divine moment. First, write down one goal you've been delaying. It could be starting a business, pursuing a degree, or rebuilding a relationship. Put it on paper, make it real, and set a deadline for this week. Second, reach out to one person you've been meaning to connect with, maybe someone you need to forgive, encourage, or collaborate with. Send that text, make that call, or write that email today. Third, take one tangible step toward a dream God has placed in your heart. If it's a ministry, register a name or create a social media page. If it's a creative project, write the first sentence or sketch the first design. These steps aren't just tasks. They're declarations to heaven that you're ready to move. Don't overwhelm yourself with more. 3 is enough. Act on these and watch God multiply your efforts. If you're feeling the fire of this message, type "I am stepping into my time" in the comments below. Your declaration isn't just for you. It's a beacon for others in this community of chosen ones, a signal that you're ready to embrace your divine purpose. Share this moment with someone who needs to hear it, because your faith could be their breakthrough. Let's address the fear that's whispering, "What if I'm not enough?" That lie has kept you small for too long. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." You were crafted with intention, wired with purpose, and equipped with everything you need. Your lack of resources? God's opportunity to show His provision. Your lack of experience? God's chance to teach you through action. Your past mistakes? They're not your identity. They're your classroom. Think of Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times. Yet in Acts 2, he preached with such power that 3,000 souls were saved. Your past doesn't define your future. Your response to God's call does. Picture this, a vast ocean stretching before you, waves crashing, yet a narrow path of dry ground appears, leading to a horizon glowing with promise. That's your life right now. The waves of fear, doubt, and past failures are loud, but the path is clear. Like the Israelites at the Red Sea, you don't need to understand how God will make a way. You just need to walk. Exodus 14:15 records God's command. Tell the Israelites to move on. Stop waiting for the waves to calm. Stop asking for more signs. The path is open, and your next step is what activates the miracle. Let me tell you about James, a mechanic from Atlanta, who felt called to mentor young men in his community. For years he hesitated, convinced he wasn't educated enough or charismatic enough. But one day he acted on a nudge to invite 3 teens to his garage, teaching them basic car repair while sharing life lessons. That small step grew into a mentorship program, now reaching dozens of kids, funded by local businesses. James didn't have a degree or a budget. He had faith and a willingness to start small. Your divine moment doesn't require perfection. It requires action. Your struggles haven't been random. They've been refining you, shaping you into a vessel for God's glory. Psalm 66:10 says, "For you, God, tested us. You refined us like silver." That job loss, that betrayal, that season of loneliness, they weren't punishment. They were your training ground, preparing you for a purpose so significant it required this level of resilience. The enemy wanted you to believe your pain was pointless, but God was using it to build your testimony. Every tear you've cried is stored in His bottle. Every prayer you've whispered is recorded in His scroll. And every step you take now is a step toward fulfilling His promise. Why does this feel so urgent? Because your breakthrough isn't just for you. It's for the generations behind you, the people around you, the souls God has assigned you to touch. When you step into your destiny, you become a living testimony, a beacon of hope for those still wandering in their wilderness. Think of Joseph, whose obedience in Egypt saved nations from famine. Genesis 50:20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Your story, your obedience, your courage to step through fear, it's not just about you. It's about the lives you'll impact, the chains you'll break, the legacy you'll build. So, what's holding you back? The fear of failure, the lie that you're too broken, the doubt that this moment is really yours? Let's confront those lies head on. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." That fear you feel isn't from God. It's a tactic to keep you from your purpose. Name it, expose it, and step past it. Your fear of failure is just a shadow, but God's light is stronger. Your past mistakes are just stepping stones, not barriers. This is your time, chosen one, and no lie of the enemy can steal what God has ordained. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, the wind carrying away every doubt, every regret, every what if. Below you stretches a valley of promise. Relationships restored, dreams realized, purposes fulfilled. That's what's on the other side of this moment. But you don't get there by standing still. You get there by acting on the 3 steps I shared. Write your goal, reach out to someone, Take one tangible step toward your dream. These aren't just actions, they're declarations of faith, signals to heaven that you're ready to step into your time. If your heart is burning with this truth, type "I am stepping into my time" in the comments. Let this community of chosen ones see your commitment, and let your declaration inspire someone else to take their step. Share this video with one person who needs to know their moment is now. Your share could be their divine interruption. You're not alone in this. Across the world, thousands of chosen ones are hearing this same call, feeling this same fire, standing at their own thresholds. You're part of a remnant, a family bound by divine purpose, not by chance. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us, we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. The saints of old, the angels above, and this community below, they're cheering you on. Your step forward isn't just for you. It's for every soul watching, waiting for someone to show them what faith in action looks like. Let's revisit Clara's story for a moment. When she opened that community center, she didn't just change her life, she changed her town. Families found hope, kids found mentors, and a ripple effect began that's still growing. Your step forward could do the same. Maybe it's a business that employs others, a conversation that heals a family, or a project that inspires a community. Your divine moment isn't just about personal transformation, it's about becoming a catalyst for others. The enemy wants you to believe you're too late, too broken, too small. But God says you're right on time, beautifully restored and infinitely significant. Romans 8:28 promises, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your pain, your delays, your fears, they're all being woven into a story of triumph. You're not defined by what you've lost. You're defined by what God is restoring. Picture a river, its current strong and steady, carrying you toward a destination you can't yet see. That river is God's plan, and every struggle has been a current pushing you toward this moment. You don't need to swim harder. You need to trust the flow and take the steps God has laid before you. Write that goal, make that call, start that project. These actions align you with the river's course, positioning you for the breakthrough God is revealing. If this message is igniting your faith, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us spread this divine call to others. Your generosity fuels a movement of chosen ones stepping into their time. As we move deeper into this truth, let's confront the lie that your moment has passed. The world may say you're too old, too inexperienced, too scarred, but God operates outside time. Look at Sarah, who at 90 gave birth to Isaac, fulfilling God's promise in Genesis 21:2. Or Caleb, who at 85 claimed his mountain, declaring in Joshua 14:12, "Give me this mountain that the Lord promised me." Your age, your past, your limitations, they're not barriers. They're badges of honor, proof you've been refined for this moment. You're standing at a crossroads, chosen one. One path leads to the familiar, comfortable, safe, but unfulfilled. The other leads through that radiant door, where fear gives way to faith, where struggles become testimonies, where your divine purpose unfolds. The choice is yours, but the timer is ticking. Not because God is cruel, but because his assignments are precise. This is your time, and God is revealing what you're about to step into, a life of impact, a legacy of faith, a story that echoes through eternity. If you're ready to claim this moment, type "I am stepping into my time" in the comments. Let your declaration be a spark that ignites someone else's faith. Share this video with one person who needs to know their time is now. And if you haven't already, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your next step isn't just a movement, it's a miracle in motion. Will you take it? Heaven is watching, and your destiny is waiting. Chosen one, as you stand at this crossroads, the air around you feels charged, like the moment before a storm breaks and the heavens pour out their promise. You're not just hearing these words, you're feeling them deep in your bones, because your spirit knows what your mind is still grasping. God is revealing what you're about to step into, and it's bigger than you've ever dared to dream. That radiant door with your name etched in gold isn't a fantasy, it's a divine invitation, pulsing with the heartbeat of eternity. You've spent years wondering if your life matters, if your struggles have purpose, if your dreams are worth chasing, but now, heaven is peeling back the veil, showing you that every moment of your journey, every scar, every setback, every silent prayer, was a brushstroke in a masterpiece God has been painting all along. This is your time, and the Almighty is calling you to step into a destiny that will not only transform you, but light a path for others lost in their own wilderness. Let's dive deeper into what makes this moment so pivotal. It's not just about you stepping into a new season. It's about you becoming a bridge for others to cross into theirs. Your obedience, your courage to move through fear, is a key that unlocks not just your breakthrough, but the breakthroughs of those tied to your purpose. Imagine a tapestry, its threads woven across generations, each one representing a life, a prayer, a hope. Your thread is glowing now, ready to connect the past to the future, the broken to the restored, the hopeless to the redeemed. Galatians 6:9 urges, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." That proper time is now. The harvest isn't just for you, it's for your children, your community, the strangers whose lives you'll touch when you step into your divine purpose. Your fears may scream that you're not ready, but God says your readiness lies in your willingness, not your perfection. Think about the story of Naomi, a woman who lost everything: her husband, her sons, her security. In Ruth 1, she called herself Mara, meaning bitter, convinced her story was over. Yet her decision to return to Bethlehem, despite her grief, set the stage for a redemption she couldn't see. Through her, Ruth met Boaz, and their lineage led to King David and ultimately to Jesus. Naomi's small step of faith, taken in the shadow of loss, became a cornerstone in God's eternal plan. Your steps, writing that goal, reaching out to that person, starting that project, are not small in heaven's eyes. They're seismic, shifting the spiritual landscape, aligning you with a purpose that echoes beyond your lifetime. You're not just stepping into a moment, you're stepping into a legacy. Now let's confront another lie the enemy has whispered, that your past disqualifies you. Maybe you've made mistakes, choices you regret, words you can't take back, opportunities you let slip away. The enemy wants you to believe those moments define you, that they've locked you out of God's plan. But hear this, your past is not your prison, it's your preparation. Look at Paul, once Saul, a man who persecuted Christians, complicit in their suffering, yet on the road to Damascus, God's light broke through, and Acts 9:15 declares, "This man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name." Paul's past didn't disqualify him, it authenticated his testimony. Your mistakes, they're the raw materials God uses to build your message. Your failures, they're the foundation of your faith. Your regrets, they're the fuel for your redemption. God isn't looking for a spotless resume, He's looking for a surrendered heart. Picture a potter at his wheel, his hand shaping clay that's been broken, softened, and remolded. That's you in God's hands. Every crack, every imperfection, every moment you thought you were ruined, He's using it all to craft a vessel uniquely suited for His glory. Jeremiah 18:4 says, But the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands, so the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him. Your life may feel marred, but God is reshaping you into something beautiful, something purposeful, something that carries His light into the darkest places. Your past isn't a barrier. It's the very thing that makes your breakthrough relatable to others. When you step into your time, your story will be a lifeline for those who feel their own mistakes have disqualified them. If you're feeling the weight of this truth, type "My time is now" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones see your declaration, a spark that could ignite someone else's faith to claim their moment. Share this video with one person who needs to hear that their past doesn't define their future. Your share could be their divine wake-up call. Why does this feel so different from every other moment in your life? Because God is aligning the spiritual and natural realms to bring His promise to pass. You've sensed it, the restlessness, the dreams that won't fade, the coincidences that feel too perfect to be random. That's not chance. That's divine orchestration. Habakkuk 2:3 promises, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time." It speaks of the end and will not prove false, convinced he was the least qualified to lead. Judges 6:15 records his doubt. "Pardon me, my Lord, but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." Yet God didn't see Gideon's limitations. He saw his potential. The Lord replied, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites." That same God is speaking to you now, chosen one, silencing your doubts with His promise, "I am with you, and you will step into the destiny I've prepared." Your doubt isn't a sign you're unworthy, it's a sign you're human. But God doesn't call the confident, He empowers the called. Your hesitation, your questions, your what-ifs, they're not roadblocks. They're invitations for God to show His strength through your weakness. You're not stepping into this moment alone. The Creator of the universe is walking with you, guiding each step, illuminating the path with His light. Picture a seed buried in dark soil, surrounded by pressure, unseen by the world. It doesn't look like much. Small, fragile, forgotten. But beneath the surface, something miraculous is happening. Roots are stretching, life is stirring, and soon it will break through the earth, reaching for the sun. That's you right now. The pressures of your life, the doubts, the struggles, the moments you felt buried weren't meant to crush you. They were meant to prepare you for growth. Isaiah 61:3 promises, "To bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair." Your ashes are becoming a crown. Your mourning is turning to joy. Your despair is being replaced with praise. The seed of your destiny is breaking through, and God is revealing the harvest you're about to step into. A life of purpose, influence, and unshakable faith. Let's talk about why this revelation feels so vivid, so undeniable. It's because your spirit is recognizing its divine assignment, the calling God etched into your soul before time began. You've felt different your whole life, haven't you? Like you were meant for something more, something bigger than the ordinary routines others seem content with. That wasn't arrogance or imagination. It was prophecy. Ephesians 1:11 says, "In Him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of Him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of His will." Your life isn't random. Your dreams aren't accidents. Your longing for significance is God's voice whispering, "This is your time." The world may have tried to dim your light, but heaven is amplifying it now, calling you to shine in a way that draws others out of darkness. Let me share a story that might resonate with you. There was a man named Elena, a nurse from Miami who spent years caring for others while neglecting her own dreams. She had always felt called to start a non-profit for immigrant families, providing resources and support, but doubt held her back. Doubt about funding, about her ability to lead, about whether her vision mattered. One night, after a long shift, she felt a stirring, a nudge to act. She followed the steps we've talked about. She wrote down her goal to launch the non-profit within 6 months, reached out to a colleague who shared her passion, and took a tangible step by researching grant opportunities. Within a year, Elena's non-profit was serving dozens of families funded by a local foundation. Her doubt was real, but her obedience was revolutionary. Your steps, writing that goal, making that call, starting that project, are your revolution. They're the spark that ignites God's plan for your life. If this message is setting your spirit ablaze, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us reach more chosen ones, igniting their faith to step into their divine moment. Whether you give or simply receive, your presence here is a divine appointment. Now, let's address the weight you've been carrying, the burden of comparison. Maybe you've looked at others, their lives seeming to overflow with ease, their dreams unfolding effortlessly, and wondered, why not me? Comparison is a thief, stealing your joy and blinding you to your unique purpose. But God didn't create you to walk someone else's path. He created you for a journey only you can take. 2 Corinthians 12:18 says, "But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them just as He wanted them to be." You are exactly where you're meant to be, equipped with exactly what you need for this moment. The success of others isn't your failure, it's a reminder that God's timing is perfect, and your breakthrough is tailored to you. Stop measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter is about to unfold. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves, its beam cutting through the darkest storm. That's you, chosen one. Your life, your faith, your courage to step into this moment. They're a beacon for others lost at sea. When you act on God's call, you don't just find your own way, you guide others to theirs. Your breakthrough isn't just personal, it's communal. The goal you write down could inspire a friend to pursue their dream. The call you make could heal a relationship that changes a family's future. The project you start could create opportunities for people you'll never meet. Your obedience is a ripple, spreading hope, faith, and transformation far beyond what you can see. If you're ready to embrace this truth, type "I am claiming my moment" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones witness your commitment, sparking courage in someone else to claim their time. Share this video with one person who needs to know their purpose is still alive. Your share could be the light that guides them home. Why is this moment so critical? Because God's revelations come with responsibility. When He shows you what you're about to step into, He's not just offering a gift. He's entrusting you with a mission. Luke 12:48 reminds us, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." Your calling isn't just about receiving blessings, it's about becoming a blessing. The world needs your voice, your gifts, your faith. There are people waiting for the hope you carry, the wisdom you've gained, the love you've learned to give. Your step into this moment isn't just for you, it's for them. Let's look at Nehemiah, a cupbearer with no apparent power who felt a burden for his broken city. Nehemiah 2:5 records his bold request to the king, "Send me to the city in Judah where my ancestors are buried so that I can rebuild it." He didn't let his position or lack of resources stop him. He prayed, planned, and acted, rebuilding Jerusalem's walls in 52 days. Your position, your job, your circumstances, your resources doesn't limit God. Your faith does. Those 3 steps you're taking, they're your prayer, your plan, your action. They're the foundation of a wall God is building through you, a legacy that will stand long after you're gone. Your life is a canvas, and every struggle has been a stroke of God's brush, painting a story of redemption, resilience, and hope. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust the artist. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart." That eternity in your heart, the longing for more, the hunger for purpose, is God's signature on your soul. You're not meant to settle for less. You're meant to step into the beauty He's revealing. A life where every pain finds meaning, every fear finds courage, and every dream finds wings. As you stand at this threshold, know that heaven is cheering, angels are watching, and God is guiding. Your fears, your doubts, your past, they're not the end of your story. They're the beginning of a testimony that will shake the world. The door is open, the path is clear, and God is revealing what you're about to step into. Your time is now, chosen one, and the next move is yours. Your time is now, chosen one, and the next move is yours. The air around you feels electric, as if the very atmosphere is charged with the weight of this divine moment. You're not just hearing these words, you're standing in the presence of a revelation, a sacred unveiling of what God has been preparing you for all along. The door before you, radiant with your name etched in gold, isn't just an opportunity. It's a portal to a life where your purpose becomes your reality, where your faith becomes your legacy, and where your fears become the stepping stones to your greatest victories. You've spent years navigating the wilderness of doubt, carrying burdens others couldn't see, and wondering if your dreams were meant to come true. But now God is peeling back the curtain, showing you that every step, every struggle, every silent cry was a thread in a divine tapestry, woven to lead you to this exact moment. Your spiritual awakening is not a distant hope. It's happening now, and heaven is waiting to see how you'll respond. Let's explore why this revelation carries such weight. It's not just about stepping into a new season. It's about stepping into a divine alignment where your life becomes a living testimony of God's power. You've felt it, haven't you? That sense that your story is meant to do more than survive. It's meant to inspire, to heal, to shift the atmosphere around you. Romans 15:13 declares, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." This hope isn't a fleeting emotion, it's a supernatural force, filling you with the courage to act, the peace to trust, and the joy to overflow. When you step into this moment, you're not just claiming your destiny. You're becoming a vessel of hope for others, a living proof that God's promises never fail. Imagine a river carving its way through a desert, its waters bringing life to barren ground. That's your life right now. The desert of your past, those dry seasons of rejection, loss, and uncertainty, wasn't your destination. It was your preparation. The river of God's purpose is flowing through you, ready to transform the wasteland into a garden of promise. Every challenge you've faced has deepened your capacity to carry this river, to bring life to places others have written off. Your 3 steps: writing that goal, reaching out to someone, starting that project, are the channels through which this river flows. They are not just actions. They're acts of worship, declarations that you trust God's plan more than your fears. Let me tell you about Sophia, a young artist from Seattle who felt trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. She'd always dreamed of using her art to share messages of faith, but fear of criticism kept her sketches hidden in a drawer. One evening, scrolling through videos, she felt a nudge to act. She followed the steps. She wrote down her goal to host an art exhibit within a year, contacted a local gallery owner she'd met once, and started painting a piece inspired by her faith journey. That first painting led to a series, and within months, Sophia's exhibit was drawing crowds, sparking conversations about hope and healing. Her fear of rejection was real, but her faith in God's timing was stronger. Your steps, no matter how small they seem, are the brush strokes of a masterpiece God is painting through you. If this message is igniting your faith, consider supporting this ministry through super thanks below. Your generosity helps us carry this divine revelation to others standing at their own thresholds, searching for their moment. Whether you give or simply receive, your presence here is no accident. You're part of God's plan. Now, let's confront the illusion that you need to be perfect before you can step into your purpose. The enemy loves to whisper that you're not ready, that you need more time, more skills, more healing. But God doesn't wait for perfection. He works through progress. Look at Mary, a young woman chosen to carry the Savior. Luke 1:38 records her response to the angel's announcement, "I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled." Mary didn't have a resume of miracles or a theology degree. She had faith and a willing heart. Your readiness isn't measured by your qualifications. It's measured by your surrender. Those 3 steps you're taking, they're your yes to God. Your willingness to move before every detail is clear. God doesn't need you to be flawless. He needs you to be faithful. Picture a bridge spanning a vast chasm, its planks sturdy but swaying in the wind. On one side is your current reality, familiar, safe, but unfulfilled. On the other is the promise God is revealing, a life of impact, joy, and purpose. The bridge is your faith, and each step you take, writing that goal, making that call, starting that project, strengthens it. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need to trust the one who built it. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Your path is being made straight, not by your wisdom, but by your trust. Step forward, chosen one, and watch God align the impossible. If you're feeling the fire of this truth, type, "I am walking into my promise" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones see your declaration, a spark that could light the way for someone else to embrace their moment. Share this video with one person who needs to know their promise is still alive. Your share could be their divine interruption. Why does this moment feel so alive, so urgent? Because God is shifting the spiritual atmosphere, preparing you for a role only you can play. You're not just a bystander in his plan. You're a key player, chosen to carry a message, a gift, a vision that the world desperately needs. Think of Deborah, a judge and prophetess in Judges 4, who led Israel to victory when others hesitated. She didn't wait for permission or perfect conditions. She acted on God's call, declaring, "The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go, take with you 10,000 men." Your call may not involve armies, but it's just as significant. Your goal could start a movement. Your outreach could heal a heart. Your project could change a community. You're not just stepping into a moment. You're stepping into a mantle of authority. Let's address the temptation to wait for a better time. The world will always offer excuses. Too busy, too risky, too uncertain. But God's timing doesn't align with human schedules. 2 Corinthians 6:2 says, "I tell you, Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. This now is your invitation, your opportunity, your divine moment. Waiting doesn't clarify your purpose, action refines it. Look at how Jesus called the disciples in Matthew 4:19, "Come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." They didn't ask for a week to think it over. They left their nets and followed. Your nets, your doubts, your comfort, your plans may feel secure, but they're holding you back from the adventure God has for you. Drop them, take your steps, and step into the unknown where miracles await. Imagine a symphony, each instrument playing its part, creating a melody that stirs the soul. You're not just a note in God's symphony. You're a vital chord, a sound that resonates with His purpose. The world may try to mute you, but heaven is turning up your volume, your life, your faith, your courage. They're music to those around you, a song of hope for the weary, a rhythm of redemption for the lost. Those 3 steps are your first notes, the opening bars of a song God is composing through you. Don't wait for the entire score. Just play your part now and trust the composer to weave it into something eternal. As you stand at this radiant door, know that you're not stepping into this alone. Across the globe, thousands of chosen ones feel this same stirring, this same call to rise, this same revelation of what's to come. You're part of a holy remnant, a family bound by faith, not by chance. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Your faith is your confidence, your assurance, your key to unlock what God is revealing. The door is open. The promise is yours, and the time is now. The door is open, the promise is yours, and the time is now. Chosen one, you're not just standing at a moment of decision, you're standing at the threshold of a spiritual revolution, where your life becomes a beacon of God's faithfulness, a living proof that His plans prevail. The radiant door before you, shimmering with your name in golden script, isn't just an entryway. It's a gateway to a life where every wound finds healing, every dream finds wings, and every fear finds its defeat. You've carried the weight of seasons that felt endless, moments when hope flickered like a candle in the wind, and questions that lingered in the silence of your prayers. But now, God is unveiling the truth. Those seasons weren't your defeat, they were your development. Every trial was a chisel, shaping you into a vessel for His glory. This is your divine moment, your faith journey's crescendo, where God is revealing what you're about to step into, a destiny that will echo through eternity. Let's dive into the power of this revelation. It's not just about personal transformation. It's about becoming a catalyst for change in a world desperate for hope. Your life is a spark, ready to ignite a wildfire of faith, touching lives you may never meet. John 15:16 declares, "You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit. Fruit that will last." That fruit isn't just for you. It's for the weary soul searching for meaning, the broken heart longing for restoration, the dreamer who's forgotten how to hope. When you step into this moment, you're not just claiming your purpose, you're planting seeds of revival. Seeds that will outlive you, growing into a harvest of souls for God's kingdom. Your 3 steps: writing that goal, reaching out to someone, starting that project, are the seeds you're sowing, each one carrying the potential to change lives. Imagine a mosaic, its pieces scattered, each one seemingly insignificant on its own. But in the hands of a master, those pieces become a breathtaking work of art, telling a story of beauty and redemption. That's your life in God's hands. Every fragment, your joys, your sorrows, your victories, your losses, is being fitted into a masterpiece that reflects His glory. The world may see broken pieces, but God sees a mosaic of purpose. Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Your days, your struggles, your dreams, they're all part of God's design, written in His book, leading you to this moment. Step forward and watch Him reveal the beauty of His plan. Let me share a story that might feel close to home. There was a man named Daniel, a construction worker from Dallas, who felt a deep calling to mentor at-risk youth. For years he dismissed it, convinced he lacked the education or charisma to make a difference. But one day, after losing a close friend to violence, he felt a stirring he couldn't ignore. He acted. He wrote down his goal to start a mentorship program within a year, reached out to a community leader for guidance, and took a tangible step by volunteering at a local youth center. Today, Daniel's program supports over 50 teens, offering them skills and hope. His fear of inadequacy was real, but his faith in God's call was greater. Your steps, no matter how small, are the foundation of a movement God is building through you. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us carry this divine truth to others standing at their own thresholds, igniting their faith to step into their time. Whether you give or simply receive, your presence here is a divine appointment. Now, let's confront the lie that you're too ordinary to make a difference. The enemy wants you to believe your life is too small, your reach too limited, your story too common. But God specializes in using the ordinary to do the extraordinary. Look at the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish in John 6:9. He didn't have much, just a simple lunch. But in Jesus' hands, it fed thousands. Your resources, your talents, your time, they may seem small, but in God's hands, they're limitless. Those 3 steps you're taking, they're your loaves and fish, offered in faith, ready to be multiplied. You're not ordinary, you're ordained, chosen to carry a message that shifts atmospheres and breaks chains. Picture a flame in the darkness, small but unyielding, its light piercing the shadows. That's you, chosen one. Your faith, your courage, your obedience, they are a light that no darkness can extinguish. Matthew 5:16 urges, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." When you step into this moment, your light doesn't just guide you, it guides others. Your goal inspires a friend to dream again. Your outreach heals a relationship that changes a family. Your project creates opportunities that ripple through your community. You're not just stepping into a moment, you're stepping into a mission to illuminate the world with God's love. If you're ready to claim this truth, type "I am shining my light" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones see your declaration, a beacon that could spark someone else's courage to shine. Share this video with one person who needs to know their light still matters. Your share could be their divine wake-up call. Why does this revelation feel so urgent, so undeniable? Because God is aligning the heavens and the earth to bring His promise to pass. You've sensed it, the dreams that wake you at night, the opportunities that seem too perfect to be chance, the stirring that won't let you settle. That's not coincidence. That's divine strategy. Joel 2:28 promises, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions." This is your prophetic hour, where dreams and visions become reality, where God's Spirit is pouring out on you, equipping you for a purpose that changes history. Your steps are the evidence of this outpouring, the proof that God's Spirit is moving in you. Let's address the temptation to shrink back, to let fear masquerade as caution. Maybe you're thinking, what if I step out and fail? What if I misheard God's voice? But failure in God's plan is never final. It's formative. Look at Peter, who sank when he walked on water in Matthew 14:13. His fear pulled him under, but Jesus' hand pulled him up. That moment didn't disqualify Peter. It prepared him to lead the early church. Your missteps, your stumbles, your doubts, they're not the end. They're the classroom where God teaches you to walk by faith. Those 3 steps you're taking, they're your water-walking moment. Your chance to trust Jesus even when the waves are high. Step out and watch him catch you. Imagine a tapestry stretching across time, its threads connecting generations, each one carrying a story of faith. Your thread is glowing now, ready to weave a legacy that outlives you. Your life isn't just about today, it's about the children who'll inherit your courage, the communities who'll benefit from your vision, the souls who'll find hope through your testimony. Revelation 21:5 declares, "He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new." God is making your life new, not just for you, but for those who'll follow. Your goal, your outreach, your project, they're threads in this tapestry, stitching together a story of redemption that glorifies God. As you stand at this radiant door, know that you're not alone. Thousands of chosen ones across the globe feel this same fire, this same call to rise, this same revelation of what's to come. You're part of a holy army, bound by purpose, not by chance. Your faith is your weapon, your obedience is your shield, and your steps are your victory. The door is open, the promise is alive, and God is revealing what you're about to step into. Your time is now, and the world is waiting for your light. Your time is now, and the world is waiting for your light. Chosen one, you're standing at the edge of a divine unveiling, where the whispers of heaven are becoming a roar, declaring that God is revealing what you're about to step into. A life of purpose so radiant, it will shift the destinies of those around you. The door before you, glowing with your name in celestial gold, isn't just a passageway. It's a threshold where your past surrenders to your promise, where your fears bow to your faith, and where your ordinary becomes extraordinary. You've walked through valleys where hope seemed scarce, carried dreams that felt too heavy, and faced moments when giving up seemed easier than pressing on. But now, God is lifting the fog, showing you that every step through those valleys was a pilgrimage, every dream a prophecy, every moment of perseverance a preparation for this sacred hour. Your spiritual awakening is not a distant dream, it's unfolding, and heaven is leaning in, eager to see your next move. Let's explore the magnitude of this moment. It's not just about stepping into a new chapter. It's about stepping into a divine narrative where your life becomes a living scripture, a testament to God's faithfulness. Your story, with all its twists and turns, is being written into the pages of eternity, inspiring others to trust in the author of their own. 2 Corinthians 3:3 says, "You show that you are a letter from Christ, the result of our ministry, written not with ink but with the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of human hearts." You are that letter, chosen one, written by the Spirit, meant to be read by a world starving for hope. When you act on your faith, writing that goal, reaching out to someone, starting that project, you're adding verses to this letter, verses of courage, redemption, and breakthrough that will touch hearts you may never know. Imagine a single pebble dropped into a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact, touching shores it never sees. That's your life right now. your obedience, your faith, your willingness to step into this moment. They're the pebble, creating ripples of transformation that reach your family, your community, and generations yet to come. Your 3 steps are the splash, the first movement that sets everything in motion. They're not just tasks, they're declarations to the spiritual realm that you're ready to partner with God's plan. The world may see small actions, but heaven sees seismic shifts, moments that realign destinies and break generational chains. Let me share a story that might echo your own journey. There was a woman named Aisha, a librarian from Charlotte, who felt a quiet but persistent call to write children's books that taught biblical values. For years she hesitated, convinced her voice wasn't unique enough, her skills not polished enough. But one Sunday, after a sermon on stepping out in faith, she felt a stirring she couldn't ignore. She acted. She wrote down her goal to publish her first book within a year, reached out to an illustrator friend for collaboration, and started drafting her first story. Today, Aisha's books are in libraries across her state, sparking faith in young readers. Her fear of being unremarkable was real, but her faith in God's call was unstoppable. Your steps, no matter how modest they seem, are the beginning of a story God is writing through you. If this message is stirring your heart, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us carry this divine revelation to others standing at their own thresholds, awakening them to their moment. Whether you give or simply receive, your presence here is ordained by heaven. Now, let's confront the illusion that you need all the answers before you can move forward. The enemy loves to paralyze you with the need for clarity, whispering that you must see the entire path before taking a step. But God's way is different. He leads by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7 declares, "For we live by faith, not by sight." Your divine moment doesn't come with a map of every twist and turn. It comes with a promise that the one who called you will guide you. Think of Abraham, who left his homeland for a place God would show him, as recorded in Genesis 12:1. He didn't have a destination address or a timeline, just a call and a trust in the one who spoke. Your 3 steps, writing that goal, reaching out to someone, starting that project, are your Abraham moment, your act of trust that God will reveal the path as you walk it. You don't need every answer, you need faith to take the next step. Picture a lantern glowing in the dusk, its light soft but steady, illuminating just enough of the path to take one step at a time. That's your faith right now. The world may demand floodlights, a clear view of the entire journey, but God offers a lantern, inviting you to trust Him for each step. Your goal, your outreach, your project. They're the steps you can see, the ones lit by His light. Each one builds your confidence, not in yourself, but in the one who holds the lantern. Psalm 119:105 says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." God's promise is your lamp, guiding you through the unknown, revealing just enough to keep you moving toward the destiny He's unveiling. Let's talk about the power of your unique voice. You may think your story, your gifts, your dreams are too small to matter, but God created you with a distinct purpose, a voice that resonates in ways no one else's can. Look at the prophet Jeremiah, who felt inadequate, saying in Jeremiah 1:6, "I do not know how to speak, I am too young." But God responded, "Do not say, 'I am too young.' You must go to everyone I send you to and say, whatever your perceived limitations, your age, your background, your lack of experience, are not barriers. They're the very things God uses to amplify His message through you. Your 3 steps are your voice, your way of speaking God's truth into the world, whether through a goal that inspires, an outreach that heals, or a project that creates. Let me share a story that might feel like yours. There was a man named Carlos, a chef from Phoenix who felt called to use his culinary skills to feed the homeless. For years he doubted his ability to make a difference, thinking he needed a big budget or a fancy organization. But one day, after serving a meal at a shelter, he felt a nudge to act. He wrote down his goal to start a weekly meal program within 6 months, reached out to a local church for support, and took a tangible step by cooking a small batch of meals to distribute. Today, Carlos's program feeds hundreds every week, supported by community donations. His doubt was real, but his faith in God's call was greater. Your steps, no matter how simple, are the ingredients of a feast God is preparing through you. Now, let's address the temptation to let past disappointments define your future. Maybe you've tried before, started a dream, reached out to someone, took a risk, and it didn't work out. The pain of those moments can make you hesitant, afraid to hope again. But God's promise is bigger than your past. Isaiah 43:19 declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and stream." Your disappointments were not the end. They were the soil where God planted new beginnings. Your 3 steps are the first sprouts of this new thing, signs that God is making a way where there seemed to be none. Don't let yesterday's failures steal tomorrow's victories. Step forward and watch God turn your wasteland into a garden. Imagine a phoenix rising from its ashes, its wings unfolding, catching the wind of a new dawn. That's you, chosen one. Your past, with all its pain and loss, is not your grave. It's your launching pad. Every disappointment, every closed door, every unmet expectation was fuel for your resurrection. Your faith, your courage, your obedience. They're the wings that lift you into the destiny God is revealing. Your goal, your outreach, your project. They're the first beats of those wings carrying you toward a horizon of promise. You're not defined by what you've lost. You're defined by what God is restoring. If you're ready to embrace this truth, type, "I am rising into my destiny" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones see your declaration, a spark that could ignite someone else's hope to rise. Share this video with one person who needs to know their past doesn't define them. Your share could be their divine spark. Why does this moment feel so charged, so alive? Because God is releasing a fresh anointing on your life, a supernatural empowerment to fulfill His call. You've felt it, the dreams that stir you awake, the ideas that won't fade, the sense that something significant is at hand. That's not your imagination. That's the Holy Spirit moving, equipping you for a purpose that transcends your circumstances. Acts 1:8 promises, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." Your 3 steps are your witness, your testimony of God's power at work in you, reaching far beyond what you can see. Let's confront the lie that you're too busy to act. The world will always fill your days with distractions, work, responsibilities, endless to-dos. But God's call doesn't compete with your schedule, it transforms it. Look at the woman with the issue of blood in Mark 5:25-34. For 12 years she suffered, yet she pressed through the crowd to touch Jesus' cloak, believing, "If I just touch his clothes, I will be healed." She didn't wait for a convenient moment. She seized her now. Your now is here, chosen one. Your goal, your outreach, your project, they don't require a perfect schedule. They require a determined heart. Make time for what matters eternally, and watch God multiply your efforts. Imagine a tapestry of stars, each one shining with its own light, together forming a constellation that tells a story of wonder. You're one of those stars, chosen one, placed in God's sky to shine in a way only you can. Your life, your faith, your steps. They're part of a greater story, a constellation of hope that guides others to their Creator. Your 3 steps are your light, your contribution to this celestial masterpiece. Don't dim your shine by waiting or doubting. Shine now and trust God to connect your light to others, creating a story that spans the heavens. If this message is resonating deep in your soul, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us carry this divine call to others. Your seed plants light in hearts still searching for their place in God's sky. As you stand at this radiant door, know that you're part of a holy movement, a remnant rising to fulfill God's purpose. Your faith is your strength, your obedience is your song, and your steps are your legacy. The door is open, the promise is alive, and God is revealing what you're about to step into. A life that shines, a story that inspires. The door is open, the promise is alive, and God is revealing what you're about to step into, a life that shines, a story that inspires, a destiny that endures. Chosen one, you're not just standing at a moment of possibility, you're standing at the cusp of a divine transformation, where your life becomes a living testament to God's unshakable love and unstoppable power. The radiant door before you, pulsing with your name in golden light, isn't merely an invitation, it's a summons to rise into the fullness of who you were created to be. You've journeyed through seasons of uncertainty, carried hopes that felt fragile, and faced challenges that tested your resolve. But now heaven is parting the clouds, illuminating the truth. Every hardship was a refining fire, every hope a seed of promise. Every challenge a stepping stone to this sacred moment. Your spiritual awakening is not a distant horizon. It's here, burning bright, and God is calling you to step into the brilliance of His plan. Let's delve into the heart of this revelation. This moment isn't just about achieving a personal goal. It's about embodying a divine mission that reshapes the world around you. Your life is a brushstroke in God's eternal canvas, painting a picture of hope, redemption, and faith for others to witness. Philippians 2:13 reminds us, "For it is God who works in you to will and to act, in order to fulfill His good purpose." The desire in your heart, the courage stirring within you, the steps you're taking, they're not your own invention. They're God working in you, aligning your will with His purpose, guiding you toward a destiny that glorifies Him and uplifts others. Your 3 steps, writing that goal, reaching out to someone, starting that project, are the colors of this brushstroke, vibrant and bold, creating a masterpiece that draws others to the artist. Imagine a single note in a grand symphony, its tone pure and resonant, blending with others to create a melody that stirs the soul. That's you, chosen one. Your life, your faith, your actions, they're a note in God's symphony, a sound that carries His love to the broken, His hope to the weary, His truth to the lost. Your goal, your outreach, your project, they're the vibrations of this note. Resonating far beyond what you can see, the world may underestimate your contribution, but heaven knows its power. Your steps are not small. They're symphonic, harmonizing with God's plan to bring beauty to a world in need. Let me share a story that might mirror your own path. There was a woman named Lila, a teacher from Denver, who felt a deep call to create a tutoring program for struggling students in her neighborhood. For years, she doubted her ability to lead, fearing she lacked the resources or influence to make it happen. But one evening, after a heartfelt prayer, she felt a nudge to act. She followed the steps. She wrote down her goal to launch the program within a year, reached out to a fellow teacher for collaboration, and took a tangible step by reserving a community center room for weekly sessions. Today, Lila's program supports over 40 students, funded by local businesses and volunteers. Her fear of failure was real, but her faith in God's vision was greater. Your steps, no matter how humble, are the opening chords of a song God is singing through you. Now, let's confront the lie that your influence is limited. The enemy wants you to believe your reach is too small, your circle too narrow, your platform too insignificant. But God's math defies human logic. He multiplies the humble to impact the masses. Look at Andrew, the disciple who brought a boy's lunch to Jesus in John 6, 8, and 9. Andrew didn't have much to offer, just a child's meal, but his act of faith led to a miracle that fed thousands. Your influence isn't measured by your followers or your fame, it's measured by your obedience. Your 3 steps are your offering, your lunch brought to Jesus, ready to be multiplied into miracles. You're not limited, you're limitless in God's hands. Picture a single spark in a dry forest, its glow faint but fierce, capable of igniting a blaze that transforms the landscape. That's you, chosen one, your faith, your courage, your steps. They're a spark ready to set ablaze a world waiting for light. Your goal could inspire a colleague to chase their dream. Your outreach could heal a heart that changes a family's legacy. Your project could create opportunities that shift a community's future. Isaiah 61 urges, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Your light is rising, not to be hidden, but to blaze, illuminating paths for others to follow. You're not just stepping into a moment. If you're ready to claim this truth, type, "I am igniting my spark" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones see your declaration, a flame that could spark someone else's courage to shine. Share this video with one person who needs to know their influence matters. Your share could be their divine ignition. Why does this moment feel so vivid, so urgent? Because God is releasing a fresh wave of His Spirit, empowering you to carry a message only you can deliver. You've sensed it. The ideas that flow unbidden, the passion that stirs unexpectedly, the moments when you feel alive with purpose. That's not coincidence. That's the Spirit moving, equipping you for a mission that transcends your circumstances. Zechariah 4:6 declares, "Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty." Your 3 steps are not powered by your strength, but by His Spirit, making the impossible possible, the small significant, the ordinary extraordinary. You're not just acting, you're anointed. Let's address the temptation to compare your journey to others. You may see others moving faster, achieving more, or seeming to walk in favor you long for. But comparison blinds you to the unique beauty of your own path. God didn't create you to mimic someone else's destiny. He created you for a purpose only you can fulfill. 1 Peter 4:10 says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." Your gifts, your story, your steps, they're God's grace in a form no one else can replicate. Your goal, your outreach, your project, they're your stewardship, your way of serving others with the grace God has given you. Stop looking at others' paths and embrace the one God is lighting for you. Imagine a riverbed, its stones smoothed by the constant flow of water, each one unique yet essential to the river's course. That's you, chosen one, shaped by the flow of God's grace, your edges softened by trials, your place vital to His plan. Your life, your faith, your steps, they're stones in this riverbed, guiding the flow of His purpose to those around you. Your goal directs a colleague toward their calling, your outreach channels healing to a broken heart, Your project creates a current of opportunity for your community. You're not just stepping into a moment. You're shaping a river that carries life to others. If this message is resonating deep in your soul, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us carry this divine call to others. Your seed plant